Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Morning Musings. My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And sitting here reading this book, Covenant and the Metaphor of Divine Marriage and Biblical Thought, a study with special reference to the book of Revelation, Sebastian Smolar's. Boy, how anyone could write this book and not be a full preterist, I have no clue in this world. He has tremendous emphasis on Revelation, the marriage language, the marriage metaphor as it relates to Israel, Judah specifically, Jerusalem, that had been married to Yahweh but was being divorced, and a new marriage and a new covenant being established. Wow, fantastic stuff. Well, anyway, hey, several of you have requested that I begin a study of the book or the books of Thessalonians. And I'm very glad to do so. You know, I have written 3 books on Thessalonians, have another one in mind, although I haven't started writing it yet. But my magnum opus to this date, We Shall Meet Him in the Air, the Wedding of the King of Kings, which is the only, to my knowledge, the only full preterist commentary written on 1 Thessalonians 4:13 and following that's ever been produced. In Flaming Fire, which is really an exercise in hermeneutic, based on 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. This book has just been called profound by college professors all the way to laymen. And then, how is this possible? One of the most challenging concepts, challenging ideas that you will ever think about in your study of Thessalonians. So anyway, I just want to let you know that we're going to begin an in-depth study of Thessalonians, both 1st and 2nd Thessalonians. But I want to introduce the study by this, all right? Something for you to ponder. Virtually all scholars admit that both 1st and 2nd Thessalonians were, quote, occasional letters. 1st Thessalonians was written because, number one, the church was being persecuted. Point number 2, evidently some of those who were being persecuted had been slain. Others perhaps had just died of natural causes. But the point of fact is, some brethren in the church, the newly born church at Thessalonica, had died before the Lord came. The membership was distraught, believing that since they died before the Lord came, obviously believing the Lord was supposed to come in their lifetime, that they would miss out. Those who had died would miss out on the blessings of the parousia. Now, I want you to think about that. If Paul, according to modern pundits, if Paul taught that the day of the Lord was actually supposed to be thousands, perhaps tens of thousands of years away, why was it that the Thessalonians were so distraught that the Lord had not come in their lifetime before some of their members passed away? Because you see, Paul did say twice, not once, but twice, those of us, himself and the Thessalonians who were living at that time, he referred to them, those of us who are alive and remain, will not precede those who have fallen asleep. Paul states in clear terms the Lord was coming back in that generation. That's really the only explanation to understand why it was the Thessalonians were so distraught that some of the members had died, perhaps persecuted to death, before the coming of the Lord. I want to tell you, the books of Thessalonians are some of the most intensely eschatological books in all of Paul's epistolary corpus. You're going to see that as we begin chapter 1 on the flip side. Thanks for joining me. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors about the beginning of our study on Thessalonians, and I'll see you on the flip side.